This is the 11th message that mankind has received from the future. Analysts think there's been a huge reversion. Up until the last message, they thought that these people of our future world were getting more of their old mental capacity back and beginning to understand their situation, even becoming more political. Now the analysts think that something must have happened. Another iteration of the big change, as they say. The message would hope to devote this issue to regular, quote unquote, business. I know Craig is waiting for me to look at him. He just let loose with a major league sigh. Getting Craig's goat has made many a day. He says that's a pile of horse you know what. We'll let that one slide this time. Yes, generosity plays a part in these offices. That said, it would be outrageously hypocritical not to get back to the current topic while it's still breathing. Now, what was it? That's great, huh, Craig? We know how to have fun, don't we? He gets a kick out of that. What? What's this? A letter? Two? Where did they come from? Letter. One thing I know, I'm a power broker. You probably don't welcome my kind, do you, lady? It's all good, but most of the power here has already been brokered. Letter. So people are, saying that there actually is something kind of wrong with like reality? Has the society had a chance yet to check that out? Not yet. We've been awfully busy. Okay, back to our subject. One thing about people like Craig, and I'll say this right to his face, which I think is why so many admire us, you can have fun around them. Everybody won't admit it. I think that's a disservice to those like him. He's looking at me with his mouth approximately halfway open. How about that, you little rascal? You don't mind getting some credit occasionally, do you? Letters again? Craig, letter. I heard that we can't be sure of anything. Except for that. Letter. Well, look, I carry myself proudly. I've always done it and don't have the faintest idea why. You might do things to be proud of. Take another look at what you do. Is that it? All right, back to our subject. I might as well point out now that we in the society firmly believe that someday everybody will revere people like Craig for their courage in carrying on as pioneers. And in truth, they are just like the rest of us, if certain aspects of their behavior are discounted. Take your bows, kid. What? Our letter sorter just rushed in with a few lost in the mix some time ago and will have to be included here. Don't be too upset if they don't seem to fit in with the others. New readers always notice that conscientiousness is near the top in our not inconsiderable list of attributes. Craig, that's ridiculous. He says it's closer to the bottom. Leave it to the bean counter. Letter. I'm like, aren't there ideas that are just too hard for some of us to grasp? Lately, the question has become, are there ideas that aren't too hard for some of us to grasp? It's a question dealt with at the big devolution derby that we're co-sponsoring at the auditorium with our big boat show. There will be plenty of booths. Yes, Craig, booths. Letter. Ye gods, I've heard there's been an apocalypse. It would explain a lot. Letter. Right. Yeah. I've seen statistics showing that most people think the good guys are the ones who drive sort of at the same speed they do. I mean, like, you people probably buy into this line of reasoning. You sort of seem like the type. Investigations recently conducted have borne out much of this analysis. There are, however, discrepancies. Some people admit that they don't drive at the right speed and are willing to acknowledge the saintliness of those who do and wish they had their inner strength and resolve. And then there are the rest of us. We, the society, are designed for the rest of us. Last letter? Finally. As to the question of whether we support the letter writers union, can we hold off on that? We promise to force ourselves through the decision-making process with ample haste, at least as ample as haste gets around here. What again? Letter. I'm so reserved that I never let my hair down. May I still join the society? We have a large contingent of people like you. The fourth and fifth floors are reserved for those of your type. You'll have a great time here once you get past our motorcycle toughs. They hang around out in front of the building celebrating their savvy. Letter. I want to satisfy everybody. You'd better get started. Is that the last one for now, Craig? Craig? All right. The question comes up every so often about how we in the society deflect criticism. The first thing you have to keep in mind is that criticism has to be treated like a mad dog. You can't show fear around it. Of course, nobody's perfect. One of the few things we've never denied so far. But you're better off over the long haul thinking of yourself as perfect. I say this by way of introduction to a piece of wisdom brought to us by an individual we've considered taking on as our mentor or guru, which would make us the first fully developed happiness organizations to do so, as opposed, of course, to the normal state of affairs where the great person builds the organization around himself or somebody does it for him. So this would be a real shot in the dark. We're all standing around here with those wait-and-see smirks. By the next issue of the newsletter, we should know more. What? They're bringing in letters again? Letter. So I kind of have dreams about being the only one able to fly, right? And nobody ever seems to be, like, impressed? We sympathize. Even in dreams, it's inexcusable for them not to be impressed by such a feat. Our science department is working on doing something about that very problem. Yes, Craig, they're all already close to an answer. I don't know why he finds that so funny. Letter. What do they mean when they say all fixed, fast, frozen relations with their train of ancient and venerable prejudices and opinions are swept away? All new formed ones become antiquated before they can ossify. All that is solid melts into air. All that is holy is profaned. And man is at last compelled to face with sober senses his real conditions of life. Yes, Craig, they're just talking about the current state of affairs. I wouldn't worry about it. Beep. Note, there's been some kind of a shift in existence, another peculiar iteration of the big change, if I may. Will it affect what follows? We'll let you be the judge. Letter. So, yeah, I mean, you kind of keep hearing about moral compasses, right? So, like, where can you get a moral compass? We sell them in our gift shop downstairs next to the theater where we run grindhouse movies 24/7 from the heyday of 42nd Street and Times Square. Letter. I've kind of heard that we're living in the future now. Yes, but it's nothing to be concerned with unless you meditate. Letter. So, like, I heard that we all try to find some wise historical figure whose advice is to be the way we already are. Yes, it can give heft to the way you are. We teach classes here in being the way you are. True happiness depends on it. Yes, Craig, true happiness puts other types of happiness to shame. Too bad you don't take it more seriously. Craig thinks there can't be true happiness for anybody unless everybody is happy. Do you know what that makes you? I don't even want to say the word.